Hello, my Cat Tarot friends. This is Cat, and this is like my introduction to the X spread, which we're going to actually look into today. So please, if you haven't been here before, or if you've forgotten why I'm doing this, just spend this couple of minutes to view it. If you are already familiar with it and you're following the series, check down in the description and you're going to see the link that you can click in and just move on to the reading for your sign. So what is this? Every sign is going to have exactly the same header. These are just the chapters. Just imagine like in a school, you have to write an essay and a teacher kind of gives you, well, these are the chapters you need to cover. I have developed this spread. I call it Cat Tarot Knows X spread, but I'm also applying this to relationships because for relationships and people who need to inquire, I will just remove the knight and I'll put a king. Also, if there are two women, I would put two queens or two kings or two knights, depending on who is the couple, who is the person inquiring. Since many of you who are listening this X spread ask me to do this reading for them, I'm actually putting it on a special, so check it out on my website www.cattarot.ca. under book your reading, just scroll it down to basically X spread. Also, if you are on and off relationship, this is going to be spread for you, because what it does, it gives me slices through the past, through present, that I can actually connect and check what might happen in the future. So why am I choosing these 7 cards? It kind of really, I spent lots of time getting to this, so it was not an easy process, but each of them is giving me a category that I want to figure out in order to figure out how your relationship works, and if can it work at all. Sometimes the most beautiful couplehoods just don't work out, and sometimes you see couples that you're wondering why they are together, and I think the 7 categories are going to explain that for me. So the very first significator, the Magician, in this category, I'm going to find out what are the tools you're given as a relationship. For example, if you're baking a bread, you need flour, you need salt, you need sugar, you need yeast, you need baking powder, I don't know, eggs, and then you can put extra ingredients. You can put raisins, you can put cinnamon, you can put seeds, right? So what if you only have water and bread? What if you have all the ingredients and you don't have water? So if an essential ingredient is missing, no amount of work is going to make this possible, right? So I'm actually trying to see here if this relationship was ever a starter. So the second card, Temperance, I am using that reversed purposely, because in the upright situation, Temperance is basically turning you into light. Everything can actually be made in this situation. Like there is a growth, there is a connectivity, and you see the angel is putting 2 different things together, just like 2 people have to come together. So when this usually comes in a reading and talks about moderation, balance, okay, the couple got together. The reason why I'm in this category looking in the reverse situation is because I do want to see what is unglued in this relationship, because that glue kind of sticks us together even if we have bad times. So these kind of like are categories that really have to be looked at if this is a starter. Now this is going to be one significator for one partner, and this is going to be a significator for another partner, and this is going to represent the energy and the communication and connection between the two. So how he sees you, how he sees himself, how she sees you, how she sees herself, right? And what's going on, what's kind of like attention, what's kind of expression, what kind of love is in between is going to kind of come in these categories. The Judgment is one of my 4 karma cards, and I really want to see here, okay, with all things given, how did you make that bread? How did you make it work up to this point? what is karma saying? Are you fulfilling the promise of this relationship? Is karma saying run? Is karma saying stay? Sometimes you get really surprising results, because sometimes the connection is karmic and people are supposed to kind of fulfill their contract and fulfill their destiny. And the very last category is very pragmatic category, and this is the one you want to know. Hey, are we getting together? Are we not getting together? Is there a next step for this relationship? What is the quality of this relationship? Keep in mind that sometimes I will tell you, yes guys, you will get together, but sooner or later you're going to run into different problems, and you have to work on that. So when you take a private reading with me, I kind of discover all of that. So let's jump into your own readings and let's go from there. Hi Pisces, let's see how is your October going to evolve. But first, let's see the situation. So in your toolbox, there was some kind of coming back. So somebody wants to come back, or it was an on-off situation. It's certainly saying that somebody kind of like was looking for possibly something better and kind of decided, okay, maybe this is kind of good enough, and left the other person maybe feeling, okay, I am sort of a second best. So what needed to be glued? Yeah, certain truths had to come out. Somebody was not telling, speaking honestly about how they really feel and what they really think about this whole situation. And looks like, you know, you guys started to like move on slowly. It kind of, certain things, so it's one is coming back, one is moving on, maybe kind of like, because you see the sword kind of cuts both ways, and even though maybe somebody did come back, you kind of felt, you know, this is not working the best for you. So either of that can be you, but it has been lots of confusion. In your case, it was like sort of like something that was indefinite, something that has been difficult to decide. And I see this kind of like battle and kind of being stuck. And see, look at this, trying to persist in spite of so much opposition, in spite of knowing and hearing that certain things just cannot work out, and maybe they are not possible to kind of be, you know, continued. But in spite of that, there is like, okay, you know what, I can do it. There was an anger, and look at it, it's kind of moving forward and maybe fighting for yourself, kind of asserting the decision made is a right decision, and fighting for your own stability, even though kind of feeling that you're really being attacked. And look at this person kind of surrendered to the circumstances. It is like kind of a feeling, it is what it is, I am the way I am, I'm not going to change. I am looking to see why you see certain things differently, why do you see it from a different standpoint. But this is almost like divine timing is at play over here. The person at this moment cannot really handle the situation. The person at this moment is realizing, okay, I kind of like need to be, you know, I'm still stuck with the old situation. I am kind of like debating and thinking how to move forward, how to kind of like requalify myself. But I'm still surrendering. The chips have fallen, and I really want to see if I can continue. And if I do continue, I will have to define it in a certain way that maybe is going to be different. But for now, for the time being, this is the person who kind of like cut out. It looks like both of you kind of like felt really strongly on your own positions. It kind of was the polarization of some kind of some kind of thing. So what is karma saying? Karma is saying, okay, this came as a surprise, and maybe your partner didn't think that you kind of like would consider not seeing their own greatness, because the events that happened kind of came to them as a surprise, while they were waiting and they were hoping, or maybe not so much hoping, but kind of like they didn't realize that the timelines move for everybody, not just for them. And just because they are kind of like in the situation doesn't mean that you are. And kind of like what has been happening was a surprise for them, because look at this. You're like, I mean, a water sign, but look at this: air, air, fire, fire. Things actually have at some point moved really, 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 really fast. So the quality of relationship, look at this. It kind of like was feeling abrupt. It didn't feel like fair. It didn't feel like soft place to fall. It didn't feel like I kind of like see myself in this situation, or I want to be in this situation. It kind of like felt weird. And so this is kind of like giving us some kind of like backdrop of what basically is this all about. So let's go really what is going to be happening in October. So up to October 10th, and that way we can see the quality of how these initial circumstances are translating right now. Look at that. You have the Magician reversed in kind of like your magic box, in your toolbox. So this person who is coming back, or even if you are attempting to come back, it's going to be really, really weird. It's kind of, remember how you had this like lies being told? Well, it's actually not only that lies are being told, but it looks like you're lying yourself, or being more than willing to accept certain versions, somebody's version of reality. Are you sure, Pisces, you want to deny yourself? Right? You kind of like really have to ask yourself why. This is the person who is going to tell you anything you want to hear just to seal the deal. At this moment, they want you back. So they will tell you that they want to marry you. They just want to be with you forever, that you were the one. And the moment when this is kind of placed and you kind of like hope that this is kind of going to continue in that direction, they kind of surprise you, and kind of like with this raised eyebrows, with a kind of like feeling, oh my gosh, I don't know, where did you get this from? You feel kind of defeated. So be very careful. The Magician is in this position very much like a rock star who kind of like got heavily on drugs, and they're just going to storm everybody down in the process and get their own means served. So look at this. The soulmate feeling is just not there, and this is head or heart, and trying to talk yourself into, or somebody coming back. We all go through that, right? At the end of the relationship, there is like this ungluing, and go back and forth until finally it breaks. This is the end of the contract. It's the soul contract, right? We talk about soulmates, yeah, but this is a karmic soulmate, somebody who had to push you on your way. So there are many, many soulmates. There are like fewer karmic soulmates, but there is only one soul contract. So if you really want to know what you've wrote for yourself that you want to learn in this life, just check my karmic readings free on my website. So look at that. There is still nostalgia. You being Pisces, you being such a sweetheart, you're still kind of stuck in this beautiful kind of thing where you kind of experience some really, really nice things with this person. And look at the Empress. It's kind of like clinging. There is a clinging energy. It is not creative. It's not productive. And they can be possibly brutal about that. Kind of like they have their vision of how things should be, what should be happening, but at the very least at this stage, this is the person who will be telling you the truth. Not in a nice possible way. You might kind of not like the delivery of it, but at least they will tell you the truth. And look at this. The karma is saying you're getting Temperance reversed. Yeah, guys, not the right time, not the right place, not the right person. The stars are not aligning, because this is just a reiteration of things that have already happened, and you're still hoping that you're their perfect person for them. The Empress is, yeah, like sitting on a throne, but also it's possible that you are fooling yourself that this person is right for you, right? Because this is saying this is a huge question mark. And the Death. This is not going anywhere. That is just saying, look, it's the end of the road. It is time to change. It's nothing in life remains the same, right? We need to accept it keeps going. It's a cycle: birth, death, rebirth. end of relationship, new relationship. This is changing from you not accepting certain things. I'm seeing this kind of like it is, look, feeling like my life is upside down. And you know, even if this person shows up and communicates, it kind of like feels abrupt, right? So you need to allow things to happen for the highest good. You are being called to let go of the old, or it's coming down in the quality of relationship. So, and look at this, the second part of October 20th, just pardon me, 10th to 20th. So in your box over here you have, okay, I actually really don't know what I want. You know, this is like why I walked away looking for something, but I really didn't know what I was looking for, so I didn't find it, right? Majority of us don't find America just like by sailing in one direction. So this is kind of this feeling, are you really waiting for things to really kind of be perfect, and hence that very special thing that you're worthy of, or you're just being picky? And somebody is being picky here and just asking, you know, like for the cakes on top of the bread, right? So what needs to be glued, like the teamwork, kind of like being on the same page, kind of the small things that kind of integrate the couple together, right? And look at that, you're kind of like saying, okay, well, it's just like not workable. Ace of Pentacles is potential that just seem not to be accumulated, right? It also could be that you're being told that you're ignoring the good opportunity and they are such a phenomenal person. And always be aware when somebody just like does that, because I can see this person will be coming and giving you these accolades about themselves that's kind of like can talk about narcissism. Somebody who actually serves their needs, they're there when they want to be there, and they're not there when it's not convenient. And that's maybe, this can also mean just checking out. Look, this is you guys, this is hopefulness, and hopefulness in romantic kind of involvement and involvement, where, you know, like things will be fair and comfortable and safe place to fall. But it's a couple that is really not a couple anymore. They're not gluing, and look at that. Like there are like two minuses here on both ends. Kind of they want of you be more pragmatic, and you want of them to be more romantic, and neither of them will happen because it's actually the other way around. You need romance and they kind of like need structure, but you also need to find this romance and that spot inside of yourself, and you see kind of like that contract with them finished. You are actually ready for a new soulmate. And there you go. There's this overall feeling, look at this, this is the karma card, this is the second one right now, right? It's overall feeling that things are out of balance, and we have seen it here. And kind of like, in fact, your partner feels you wrong them, because they really have a high opinion of themselves, I do have to tell you. This is card that's saying, look, you know, things are so out of balance here. Like this has to work for both parties, right? But it's also saying, you know what, don't engage in this anger, because it has been miscommunication, has been anger over here. And it's funny enough, when you kind of get to this point of kind of like redefining how you really want it, you know, there is like, again, okay, you know, maybe I can become all that. But this is maybe good. We will see it in the next line if this person is going to live to their promise. This, for the first time, I see your partner, okay, you know what, I maybe have been a jerk. Okay, I will be the best I can be. And it's not exactly the flavor that you kind of set down, like put down, that you want for them, but it's kind of like really great. And this tells me like maybe you're going to be invited for a date, and date is going to be really lavish, but it might also left you feel with some kind of feeling of, okay, there is something that is off. I'm still feeling that he is not pleased with some things, or that I am missing something, and can we really build it? Is he really romantic enough for me? Because you guys, you really need that romance. So the last basically 10 days, like 20th to 31st of October. So this is a really good thing. So finally things sort of like are getting kind of grounded. King of Pentacles is like, just like King of Wands, they're staying and they want to be around, kind of giving this grounded energy. Okay, you know what, I will be here, I will be reliable, because look at this, you have 3 kings over here, and it's like usually the lift off after that, right? And look, again, with this person, this happiness is not in the cards. It's sometimes you have the fabric and this is your relationship, and you just stretch it so much that it just like falls apart at its seams. And this is talking about, you know, you are putting a really, really happy face, but you're really not happy. And you're not happy that he is, or this partner is not, she is not the one. But at least you're coming, look, you're coming to your own balance. You're coming to feeling who you really are. So this is kind of interesting, because it is after you kind of get to this point that there is a possibility of some kind of connectivity. Look at that. This person will really actually try to come and fight for you, even though you'll start kind of looking already after yourself in your own direction. It's kind of self-nourishment card as well. And look at that, there is going to be spying on Facebook or on Instagram. Kind of be careful what you post, because in a sense it's also going to be good, because look at this, it could be even you. This can also talk about a tarot reader kind of giving you the insight, so you actually do understand what's going on behind the scenes. Guys, this is just a general reading. This doesn't have to be you. So just so you know, for your private reading, you contact me. It could be completely different. But look at this. Kind of like they're a little sloppy. In fact, if they're spying on you, you will kind of figure it out. And it's not going to really bother you very much. But look at this, they're clamping up again. Like how they started, okay, I don't know where to go. There is like this fear. Look at 8 and 8. It's the fear keeps creeping up. So at some point it's picking up, and this person could also, I don't know, be legally connected to someone. But again, they kind of come out and they lash out, and they come back and they want to date you, wine you and dine you. They're even saying that they want to marry you, and this is great. But whenever the steps are discussed how to get there, this is kind of abruptly being cut off and even ridiculed, and the details are not important to this person, and hence there is like this tapping in the dark and not finding the way out. And ultimately, like, it is just cannot be built. It's kind of like you need to have common goals, you need to have common vision, you need to kind of like be on the same page. Well, the good news is here, neither of you actually have somebody else. This is simply a lots of internal kind of workings, and simply you guys came to this life to meet up in this life was for a reason. It was obviously karmic, and it was to basically be returned back on your path. And what you guys really want, you want security, you want somebody who is going to keep you balanced emotionally, who kind of provides you this happiness, and who is willing to work with you and not to kind of like close up to you. So this is kind of like the key from here, that you will get into this balance, and kind of like you're going to start seeing at things differently, understanding that even if things are temporarily kind of clouded and feeling imbalanced, you're just not going to engage, and hence protect your own karma and allow yourself an entrance of somebody who is probably out there to treat you much better. This is a really good card. This is somebody with a huge quality of a husband, and look at this, these two people are looking at each other, and this is coming up. So maybe after all, this waiting was waiting for the right person and holding on for, and not settling for the things that just cannot work out properly. So it's going to be interesting to hear from you, Pisces. As I said, get your own reading because this is general, but in the meantime your comments are really, really welcome, as well as if you haven't already, please subscribe, please like, and please share this video. And thank you very much for listening. And until the next time, love you, Pisces.